right. So welcome everyone. My name is Becca Lynn, SWIHA Success Coach, joining you live via webinar with Casey Miller, the owner and founder of Southwest Institute of Healing Arts. Hi, Casey.
Hi, it's so great to be here tonight. Thank you.
Ooh, I just got chills on my head because I'm so excited for you to share your calling and your passion to put together this yoga therapy program. But before we jump in, I would love to see if our participants are willing to share the big question, which is, what is your why? Why are you being called to check out yoga therapy? The yoga therapy program here specifically at SWIHA, aka Spirit of Yoga, which is our yoga teacher training studio. So go ahead and just let me know, raise your hand. I can allow you to talk or just type it in the Q&A so I can read it out loud. And if you are driving, do be careful. Don't type and drive, just saying. Yes. So Casey, we're going to start with you. As people are raising their hands, Casey, what is your why? Why did yoga therapy become a program at SWIHA?
Wow, what a great question.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been in business for 32 years. We've been doing yoga for 25 years. And for the last 12 years, my dream was that we would be able to have a yoga therapy program that would be approved by the International Association of Yoga Therapists, recognized worldwide. And it took us 10 years for that to become the goal. Why? Oh, to me, yoga therapy is like the creme de la creme. It's where you're taking yoga and hands-on, one-on-one coaching work, and you're working with people that are really ready to transcend all of their traumas, all of their past stories, and use yoga as the bridge to wholeness and healness, or wholeness and healing. So there's so many whys to that. The bottom line is, to me, this is a dream come true, that we took the time to put a program together to get it approved by the U.S. Department of Education, that we got a chance to have a partnership with the Amrit Yoga Institute. There's just so many parts to this program. And here's the best part. We, within the next few weeks, will have our first 12 graduates from this program. And these graduates are happier and more committed to their life as well as their practice than ever before. So it's really kind of hard to describe how important to me personally this has been, but also I believe it's important to the world. It's like, this is a place that those that are drawn to do one-on-one healing work using yoga as the bridge, it's like, yes, this. So I'm really interested to understand why people are being drawn to this. I could talk all night, and I understand we only have 30 minutes as to why yoga therapy. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, Catherine's going to be so bold. I'm passing the mic to you, madam. Let me know if you can speak. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Hello.
Hello, my name is Catherine Smith. I am yoga, and I'm here. That's my why.
Chill.
Yes, that's a good why. But are you here in Arizona? You're here in the Valley?
Okay. I just graduated Spirit of Yoga in December from the 200-hour program.
Great. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, and so I've been out there trying to teach yoga and practicing yoga, like really practicing. And if anything, let me just stick to my why, because I heard Casey, we only have 30 minutes, and that's how I introduced my name in 30 minutes. So it's more of yoga has unlocked a freedom in my heart over and over again in my lifetime. A life beyond my wildest dreams as a student. And I just am called to this to help others unlock that potential in them. And I'm just grateful. I didn't realize there was so much to yoga, and I just keep learning and it's just a privilege to serve, and I'm just here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been a
Thank
hard day. I got a nail in a tire kind of day. And so just grateful to be here. Get on the mat, Katie.
Yeah, really.
You were practicing that yoga, weren't you? In the moment,
Yes.
living the yoga.
Ooh.
You are the
Oh,
yoga.
yeah.
Thank you for
Living the
sharing,
yoga.
sister. Beautiful. Awesome. Welcome.
Thank
All right, Rochelle, you're up. You're up. I'm passing the mic. You may unmute when you're ready.
Hey, okay, can you hear me?
We can. Hi.
Okay, thank goodness. I had to switch headsets. Hi, my name is Rochelle. I go by Ro. And I think my why, oh, this is so hard. I think my why for why I want to come into yoga is it's really kind of, I call it my homecoming. It's where I'm returning to myself. I'm making a mind and body connection, and I'm taking autonomy and empowerment back through my body whenever I do yoga. I was in a psychology program. I did get my bachelor's, but I felt like I don't know. I feel like the more high up you get in academia, the more barriers you have to actually like help people. And I want to help people, if only for a little bit, acknowledge that like you have this power, you can do this, own that power. And I think that's now why I'm like, let's do it, let's go.
Mhm.
Great. Perfect.
Love it.
Psychology and yoga. Perfect.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for being here and thank you for sharing. Anyone else feel called to share, raise your hand. And Casey, I just want to see where you want to start because you can start big or you can start
Okay.
small and grow
Well,
your practice as you go. But since this is yoga therapy, I think
yeah,
we should start big and then hone in on where everyone's at.
sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, the basis of the basis of the yoga therapy is the 200 hour. So whether you take your 200 hour from us, Southwest Institute of Healing Arts, or you have taken a Yoga Alliance approved program someplace else, that's where it all starts. You start with your 200 hour. And so we have a couple of 200 hour programs coming up that you could start in at night in June or in August during the mornings. Once you have that 200 hour foundation, this is really just the decision. Are you being called to work one-on-one with people where you're using yoga, and yet there are a variety of extra skills that you are working with people? So here's the basis of our yoga therapy. There's 5 building blocks. What we know is that we have a program that is called Yoga Body Psychology. It has been designed by Kamini Desai, and that is the basis of learning to use yoga and one-on-one coaching skills. So it's 100 hours of yoga body psychology. You can take that program just by itself, or it is the core of the yoga therapy program. Are we still connected, Becca?
We are. I'm showing Kamini right here in this little YouTube video snapshot here.
Okay.
And it's just showing what they would be learning within the 1000-hour program.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So there's 100 hours of yoga body psychology designed by Kamini Desai, who is now the lineage holder of Amrit Yoga Therapy. Then there's 140 hours of Yoga Nidra. Kamini is one of the foremost world-renowned trainers in Yoga Nidra. She has written the book, Yoga Nidra, Transformational Sleep. She lives in Iceland and comes to visit the campus twice a year. So what's really beautiful is that the training that you get here at SWIHA is actually one that is 100% residential, which is very unusual. Kamini still comes to visit our campus. We met her 12 years ago and we've been hosting her Yoga Nidra. So Yoga Nidra is a form of what's known as yogic sleep. And you are able to be a Yoga Nidra practitioner as well as yoga body psychology practitioner. Then in addition to that, we have other parts of the Amrit Yoga program. So let me just talk a little bit about that. to be recognized by the International Association of Yoga Therapists that's the big goal. And so for the longest time, we thought, well, gosh, maybe we need to be recognized and be recognized by that. And what we realized is almost all of our program, half of our program was going to be the 1000hr Yoga Therapy technology. 1000hr Yoga was already approved by the International Association of Yoga Therapy. So we thought, let's create a partnership, because they no longer have a 100% residential program. Half of their program, or more than half of their program, is online. And we wanted to be able to have a residential program. In other words, anybody that learns best hands-on in the classroom is able to come and take their program here at SWIHA. And then we have a partnership with 1000hr where you do a mentorship with one of their senior instructors, and they sponsor you then into the International Association of Yoga Therapists. That's what we have our first 12 people graduating with. So our program, it sets you up to be internationally recognized by the International Association of Yoga Therapy, but also that the 1000hr Yoga is a old lineage that is well respected around the world. We have had the opportunity to actually host Kamini's father. His name is 1000hr Desai. He's 91 years old. He's come here and actually worked with students one as well, helped with their initiation. So we feel very, very honored that our program now is able to prepare someone to be professionally ready to work as a yoga therapist. I love the one lady that was saying she had done psychology. So many people have told us, I have taken psychology, but I don't feel like I have a way of actually being with people. Yoga therapy is exactly that. You are with people, working one-on-one, looking at their wholeness, and you use yoga as a way of transcending what has been the stories that they hold in their mind and hold in their body. So part of the program does include psychology classes. For instance, we do the psychology of it's called the psychology of regulation, understanding trauma. Our program is very trauma sensitive. We're set up so that we understand the way that the mind reconfigures itself when it has had any kind of trauma, that it gets stuck in this fight, flight, freeze mode. And so part of it is understanding as a yoga therapy, oh, this is what literally happened to the brain. This is how the body got stuck. And this is how we can get to that witness consciousness and actively begin to repattern and reprogram, recalibrate the nervous system.
Woo!
Yeah.
I love it. I want to show the program sheet
Sure.
really quick that we looked at today, but let me share my screen one more time, because I just want everyone to digest the power of the curriculum here, which, like Casey said, it's the embodying of whatever it is that you're working through that makes it real, right? It makes us transform because we're embodying that. We're calling it in, we're setting our intention, and we're physically holding that posture to unlock and release whatever it is. So, and I know you want to talk about this principles of meditation in motion, Casey. I'm excited to hear about that because I know that start date's coming up soon, right?
It is. So one of the core pieces of this program is, it's called Meditation in Motion. And it was the original transformative experience that 1000hr Desai as a yogi guru teacher had many years ago. And he has put this into a program, and it's called Meditation in Motion. And it really helps us go from big picture out here to really getting in touch with our own deep intuition. And that meditation is the stillness that we're able to learn ourselves and then facilitate others through. So once a year, our mentor from 1000hr Yoga Institute comes to the campus, Her name is Hasu, and she will be presenting a 2-weekend program that just happens to be coming up very soon. And that it's the weekend of April 12th through the 15th, and then the following weekend. So if anybody has already taken their 200-hour program, they could start. The very first class that they could start with is the core, one of our core programs. It's called Meditation in Motion. So it's a 2-weekend long program that gets people set up for their experience. It's a year-long experience that it takes to achieve your yoga therapy program. You go twice a week, Monday and Wednesdays, and then approximately 2 weekends a month for an entire year, so that you end up with 1,000 hours that then qualifies you to articulate in with the Amaret Yoga Institute. And then you're able to, once you have done all of your case studies, actually take the national test and then become a certified yoga therapist through the International Association of Yoga Therapy. So yoga, meditation in motion, it's hard to describe it. It's so transformative. It's based on the Yoga Sutras, and yet it's a very personal experience. And you begin to get in touch with the meditation within and understand that your consciousness is a movement, and that how do we begin to be in a yogic way that Amaret Desai and Kamini Desai describe as our own personal meditation in motion, meditation in our life, and how do we bring that reality into how we are in the world, and then take it into the way we serve clients. So that's one of the starting points. We, on Monday and Wednesdays, we have core classes, and those core classes are things like yoga anatomy, yoga physiology. It has to do with the advanced yoga philosophy and intro to meditation. That's a class that I help teach along with Scott Taylor. There are other core classes, and then along the way, you have a chance to then take your yoga Nidra, your yoga body psychology. This coming weekend, there's another great class that I've had a chance to be a part of. It's called Transformational Yoga Coaching, and it's where we use yoga asanas, metaphoric, to help us go through breakthroughs. On Sundays, we actually go out to Usury Pass, and we take our yoga to the mountain. We become the mountain. We do ceremony on the mountain. It's an incredible experience. So our program is set up to give yoga teachers skills to be in the studio, one-on-one with clients, and then also do therapeutic workshops with clients, so that there are a variety of ways to be sustainable. In other words, to make a living doing this.
Do you want to speak to the integral breath therapy really quick? Because I know how powerful that was for you, and the breath is for those who are moving through some deep stuff.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Breath, of course, pranayama is a big part of yoga, and part of the yoga therapy is that there is a 60-hour specialization in integrative breath therapy. And again, it is a breath technique that then helps you learn to work one-on-one with your clients. Your breath will bring up whatever has been lodged in your body. As the practitioner, you want to be able to facilitate a breath session, as well as hold the big emotions, and then not have the client get stuck in being re-traumatized. Rather, like, breathe through it, let's emote, and then move into that future highest best self. So we have a wonderful opportunity. Our program director is Rhonda Vomer. She teaches the yoga body psychology as well as the integrative breath. And then she helps prepare students for their practicum, as well as what's called putting it all together. Once you have spent a year going through the skill base, then you end with this amazing experience of bringing it all together, working one-on-one with clients, so that when you leave, it's not like theoretical. You will have done a deep session work with clients, document them, and you'll be able to say, I know what it's like to work with a series of sessions one-on-one with my clients, and be able to document breakthroughs. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's yes, you'll learn it yourself, but our entire focus is, how do we prepare the students to have competence and confidence so that they can be with students or be with clients, as well as be sustainable, profitable in a private practice.
Yes. And I want to know what questions we have with us here. So Catherine, Rochelle, Elizabeth, Misha, what questions specifically do you have in regards to the curriculum at all? Because we have Casey Miller here with us tonight. Samira, hello. I didn't acknowledge you. Welcome. So what questions do you have? Use the Q&A. Those who are with us live on social, also type in your questions. But let's talk about a little bit of the specialties too, Casey, because I mean, you started as a massage school over 35 years ago, and we're talking yoga, and we also have, you know, other yoga therapy modalities like Polarity, which is huge, sound healing, which brings the popular masses who aren't maybe yogis to the mat to try new things. But why did you decide to put all of these modalities together to encapsulate what is yoga therapy?
Polarity is based on the science of Ayurvedic, and Ayurvedic means the science of life. And so for part of what we want to prepare the students for is the exam questions that they will have a chance to be exposed to when they decide to become certified by the International Association of Yoga Therapists. So the Polarity is a way of teaching a hands-on modality and it is based around the Ayurvedic theories, or the elements of fire, water, air, earth, ether. So Polarity has been a program here at SWIHA for, well, it's really one of our longest standing programs. And we have a whole Polarity program that people could go into. For me personally, it was important because that's such a big piece of yoga itself, the Ayurvedic philosophy. We wanted to include a Polarity class so that we could bridge what we'd always done with what is needed as far as skills for a yoga therapist. In that Polarity basic weekend, again, you come out knowing an entire protocol that you can do on a client, either on a table, on a yoga mat, on a futon, using the energy of their body. Perhaps you'll find a stuck place. Maybe it's their heart, maybe it's their shoulders, maybe it's in their psoas, and you have maybe it's in their feet, and you learn to release the stuckness physically, again, using breath, sounding, facilitated dialogue. So Polarity is one of the courses that's included in the bigger program. As far as communication, the facilitated dialogue, you learn how to ask coaching questions, how to hold space for people in both the yoga body psychology, the transformational yoga coaching. We just we now have a program that's called trauma-informed communication for yoga therapists, and it's really understanding all of the current trauma-based information that is out there. Books like Body Keeps Score, The Hungry Ghosts, What Happened to You by Dr. Perry and Oprah Winfrey. We've taken all of the modern science and incorporate that into a course that yoga therapists take so that they fully understand what is out there if they do decide to work with a psychologist or even a psychiatrist. We want our graduates to be fully prepared to work in a clinical or medical partnership if that's what they decide to do. So,
Yep.
yeah.
We have great questions coming in. First, I want to say I have to honor that, we are energy and our emotions are energy in motion. So when we hold that in, guess where it gets stuck? In our tissues, and we don't want to get stuck. So I love that we have the meditation motion class coming, because Zazen doesn't work for me. I need to move it out. I need to let it go and call in what it is that I need to call in. So no wonder you psych majors are here, because it's the holistic, the whole being education that you're seeking, not just the mind. You're yoking the mind with the spirit and the body through yoga. So you're here for the right reason. So I'm glad you're here. Catherine says, I love all the class options and that they're here in Tempe. I want to do the mountain one. We'll see you there. Come sign up. We know you're qualified. And Rochelle, if they're still relatively green in terms of our own yogic practices, will this 1000-hour program still empower us to facilitate the healing that our intuitions are calling us to do, even as beginners?
Oh, absolutely. It's not a short program. It's a year-long program. And it's exactly that. We have students that start right after their 200-hour program, and you'll have an entire year that you'll very likely be already teaching out in your own studios. We deepen the skills that you already have. You do your personal work as well as you begin to deepen the way that your yoga studio classes are offered. And then you, little by little, begin to work one-on-one with people. We fully get that it's not an overnight thing. It's not. It's like you grow into your greatness through yoga therapy. So you can start with your 200 hours with us, or if you already have your 200 hours, then you start on this incredible journey of self-healing, as well as learning to hold space for others, and then deepening what you're able to offer in your studio classes, and then begin working one-on-one. And then how do you create yoga therapy workshops or yoga therapy studio offerings? And all of that is us knowing that we want to prepare you in different ways personally, as well as how you'll serve the community. So the answer is yes. And it's a commitment. It is definitely a commitment. You can't do it in any less than a year. And sometimes people, we find that it takes them up to, it could be 60 months instead of 50 months, because of the schedule and how holidays work and all of that. So get ready for transformation. It's exactly 200 hours. You had transformation. Imagine what another 800 hours will be. It's amazing. It's incredible.
Truly. Catherine's asking about biotuning, and then which class would you recommend a 200-hour teacher take first?
Biotoning, what's that? What's the ask about that?
I'm not sure what she's asking. She said, what about biotuning? And then which class would you recommend a 200-hour teacher take first? Catherine, if you want to ask the question to clarify, you sure can. Yeah, go ahead and unmute yourself.
I'm so at a disadvantage on this thing. I'm like woohooing in celebration with all the fun things, and I suck at typing. And I think too fast. And so biotuning was just something I heard of, trying to sound cool. Like, all right, is there a class on biotuning? I don't even know what it is. So don't worry about that.
Okay, because we do have a sound. There is a sound class, and it's where you are working with the Tibetan bowls, and you learn to use the vibration of the Tibetan bowls it's actually hands on the body. So that is a possibility. I've heard the term biotoning, but that's usually with tuning forks. That is.
Yes, it is. It's tuning forks. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's just, could that be added in? Absolutely. It's not a big part of this curriculum. So where do you start? You start with what whichever class when you're ready to make a commitment. The commitment is once you start, you need to commit to being available Monday and Wednesdays for pretty much an entire year. So the classes run about every 6 to 8 weeks. So you would start, and that is a cyclical one. So you would start in a class that runs on Monday, Wednesday, and that's something that is kind of custom for the student. And then once you start, then we begin to develop the specialties for you. They're not required in any linear order because they are a self-contained specialty in and of themselves. Do we ever have people that have taken 200 hours and they don't want to commit to the whole 1000-hour? Okay, they will start with maybe the 200 hours and yoga nidra, or 200 hours and yoga body psychology, or 200 hours and even transformational yoga coaching. We have people that just come for the 40-hour transformational yoga coaching. So it really, we always say, are you ready? And if you're not, take one class at a time. Don't jump into the whole diploma if that's not what it is for you. Once you decide I'm ready, then we figure out, all right, where is the Tuesday, Thursday class that's starting? And where is the specialty? And let's custom design a program that will get all of these classes on your transcript within a period of time. And we show you what your schedule is going to be, and you're like, oh, okay. Now, let's say you're ready to start, and yet there is a vacation or something. We want to know that ahead of time so we can plan that in and maybe have a period of time that you're on a leave of absence, or that there would be a period of time that would not be more than 14 days so you could stay within the integrity of the program. So where do you start? You start when you're ready, and you work with an advisor to make sure what your schedule is and that it's truly something that's going to work for you, and that you don't start into something that's not going to fit into your life. So we really work with making sure now is the time. And do you start with one class at a time and build your resume or your transcript, or do you start with the program? If you are eligible and want to use federal financial aid, that's certainly available to you. And once you start, then that is something that you want to make sure that you're available for the 60 or 70 weeks, depending on how your schedule lines out. Did that
Yes.
answer your question? Yeah.
That was perfect. Yep. And then, so even before you start talking with your advisor about your schedule, for those of you who need to talk about your intention and is it the right time, you shared your why, thank you. Talk with an admissions coach, because that's where you're going to unlock where you start, how you start, and then proceed, because it's amazing. And Catherine gave you a thumbs up, so yes.
So let me just say that we actually have 3 advanced programs. You can start your 200 hours, and if your focus is that you want more additional information so that you are a deeper, more resource yoga studio teacher, we have a 600-hour program that can help you with that. We also have an 800-hour program for people that don't have the goal of being a yoga therapist, and that you aren't necessarily preparing for the International Association of Yoga Therapists. If that's your ultimate goal, then you are making a commitment to the entire program sheet. So we spend a great deal of time saying, are you really wanting the 1000-hour yoga therapy international certification, or would the 800-hour yoga practitioner be a better program, or would the 600-hour program? So we have many options, or we have 3 options, depending on what your true why is. Like, what is it you really want to accomplish? Those that go into the yoga therapy and go for the goal of being certified and recognized by the International Association of Yoga Therapy, there's a very prescribed thing. We don't have any exceptions on that, because we're preparing you for a transcript that will be approved. Now, If that's not what you want, then you can more customize what it is you want with either the 600 or the 800-hour advanced program. So your initial conversation with your yoga coach or your admissions coach is very important. Like, we're not going to talk you into anything. You're going to find your way once you get even more clear about your why, what your intention is, and what you really are being called to do.
Yes, beautiful. We only went 6 minutes over. Wow.
Okay.
Record time. It's amazing. I know we could stay here all evening. Highly encourage all of you to reach out. Just have the conversation with an admissions coach, whether it's in April that you start, whether it's next year that you start. Your intention is everything. You're planting that seed. Casey, what are your last words of wisdom for anyone who's considering becoming a yoga therapist or a yoga teacher?
Yeah. What I would say is that really get clear on what your why is. Do you want to work one-on-one with people? Do you imagine holding really deep space for others? And you may even want to come in and experience a yoga therapy class. Every Friday at 10 o'clock, we actually have a studio class that is offered by Rhonda Vomer, our program director. It's a wonderful place to explore. It's Fridays from 10 to 11:30, or we do have a class on Thursday nights at 5:30 that is also a yoga therapy studio class. So it's always good to come and take a class. We now have students that are almost ready to graduate, and they are taking one-on-one clients. And so you may want to actually schedule a yoga therapy session so you understand fully what that is. So what's my takeaway? I'm going to use an old adage, and it's that when the student is ready, the teacher or the program will show up. If you are being drawn to Arizona, a residential program, we're one of the only fully residential programs. So perhaps you're here for a reason, and that we may be an answer to what it is that you're looking for. In the end, it's never about what should I do. We ask you to go inside and say, what should you do? Like, what is your calling? What is your dharma? What's your real path? Is it yoga therapy? Is it advanced yoga? And are we the right fit? You'll know. Come and visit the campus. Come and really look deeply at the program sheet and just like press it up against your heart and say, is this mine? Is this mine? And if that greater, wiser one says yes, then it's yes. If it's like not yet, then it's not yet. We respect very much that the answers are within. They're within the yogi. There are no outside gurus, that we really encourage you to go within and find that answer from that guru teacher within. That's mine.
I love it. Perfectly put. I hope everyone received that and felt that as much as I did. So thank you, Casey, so much for who you are and how you serve, and for allowing people to come do the same in our very sacred and safe space that is SWIHA. Oh, all right.
So in the tradition of our studio, in the tradition of this program, we say victory to spirit, and it sounds like this: Jai Bhagwan. So Jai Bhagwan.
Jai Bhagwan. All right. Have a blessed evening, everyone.
Thank you.
See you
Bye-bye.
here. Bye.